that I was American's first female captain. So as you know, that is portrayed prominently in the show. But I did the interview, it lasted 4 hours, and we went back to Texas. I didn't even know how musicals went from infancy to the Broadway stage. I didn't know anything about that. So I never thought about it again. And 4 years later, in the summer of 2015, we were invited to the world premiere opening in La Jolla. And they said, remember that young couple you did the interview with? And I'm like, of course. And they said, well, they've written a musical. And we're like, okay, so off we go. I didn't know that my character was portrayed so prominently in the show.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that there was a song written that chronicled my aviation career that is the only solo in the musical, and it's 4 minutes and 19 seconds. You know, so I'm listening to this for the first time, and I'm just, it was very daunting seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, but more power to you. But you're celebrating as well, aren't you? Your airline's, what, 100 years old?
And yes, 100 years old, and we've been celebrating that today with the launch of a new liveried Boeing 747, which is very, very exciting. But there are lots of things going on, including the event for International Women's Day, our 100 Girls. So it's a very exciting year for British Airways.
Okay, and young ladies watching this afternoon, ladies, please offer them some advice. You start her.
Well, follow your dreams. It is a fantastic career. Don't let anybody bring you down. You're just as good as the boys, and let's get that percentage up in the next few years.
Yeah, and please let's have 2 women at the front of the plane.
Oh, we do.
I mean, how often does that happen, though?
In 1986, I had the first all-female crew.
That's amazing, did you?
And you know what?
That's 30 years ago.
The cockpit conversation is very different when you're with all girls.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. It really is. And the passengers absolutely love it. I mean, they see all 3 of us in the cockpit, and they're really rooting for us.
And what would you say to young ladies who are potentially thinking about a career in aviation?
Well, one of the things that I think discourages them is they think that it's a very hard job to have and be a mom. And I feel very differently about that because we have a lot of flexibility. We don't go to work from, 8 to 5 in the afternoon. We can manipulate our schedule. We can trade our trips. And when I had my children a little late in life, I had them at 40, I only worked 9 days a month. I flew 3 days on. I had 7 days off. And my children would tell you that I never missed anything at school. They felt like their mom was always home. And the other thing is in 1978, along with a brand of female pilot, we started an organization called ISA, International Society of Women Airline Pilots. And at that time, we had about 40 women in the United States. We had our first convention in Las Vegas. 21 women showed up. And today, we have over 600 members.
Wow.
And our convention this year is in Sydney. Every other year, our convention is in Europe or
Fantastic.
somewhere to accommodate our European.
Well, that takes me to a question that I wanted to ask you before I let you both go, and that is, how does one deal with jet lag? Asking for a friend.
Well, personally for me, it depends on how long the trip is, because I very much like to see the places I visit. I'm sure it was the same for you, but it's a real treat to be able to see places. So I like to try and get on local time there. But coming back to the UK, I have like a midday rule. So if I get home before midday, I'll sleep. If I'm after midday, I'll wait until the evening and try and get my body clock back there. But yes, you do have to think about that, and quite often, you'll make sure you have rest before you report for duty. So you do find yourself sleeping at unusual times of day, but you do get used to it. You do.
And the nice thing about the long-haul airplanes that she is flying and that I flew is, we have 2 bunks, we have 2 first-class seats, and we basically fly 3 hours with the first captain and co-pilot, while the other 2, we have an augmented crew, so we have 2 extra pilots, and we rotate. We fly 3 on, 3 off, so everybody does get some rest. Some people stay on, for us, U.S. time. Some people go on the local time.
The moment I get on the plane to the local time.
And see,
yeah.
I never change my watch,
Okay.
but I do shift.
That's where I'm going wrong.
But I do shift to the local time.
Okay. Just before you finally go, Best aeroplane to fly on?
Oh, 777.
Oh.
Of course.
Not even a question,
That was
777.
easy, wasn't it?
Yes.
So the Queen of the Skies then, the
Queen of the Skies is
747.
iconic, and the Concorde. I would have loved to have
Yes.
Concorde. She's a beautiful aircraft as well. But for now, I very much enjoy flying the Boeing 777.
Yes, I refer to the 777. When we first got it in 99, I called it the mothership, and that hasn't changed.
And tell me a little bit finally about the play, the musical, where can people see it? It's
They see it at the Phoenix.
in Central London.
And yes, and we're so proud
That's tonight.
that it made the West End, and that's rather iconic.
And shortlisted for a Tony Award as well, I think.
Say again?
A Tony Award.
Oh, absolutely. We
Yeah.
were nominated
Yeah.
for 7 awards,
Yeah.
and it won for Best Directed Musical, and we're very proud for it to be in London.
Ladies, I am absolutely thrilled to bits to have 2 female pilots on my sofa and spend some quality time being able to say to young girls out there, this is what you can achieve, and it
Absolutely.
is achievable.
Yes, and it's a great career.
Okay, it's great to talk to both of you. So I know you're incredibly busy, both of you, so thank you very much indeed for taking the time to join me on the programme this afternoon. Really, really do appreciate it. So there you go, you see, that's sticking it to the boys, isn't it? Female pilots, only on average 3% of the industry-wide are female pilots, at the moment 6% at British Airways, which means 94% are men. What we need to do is to get those figures up significantly over the course of the next decade. If it's my last breath, I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Still to come on the programme, we'll be talking about all today's top stories. Do stay tuned our way here on Sky.
Travel back in time and build the legendary Back to the Future DeLorean.
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Well, if you're gonna travel in time, do it in style with your own die-cast metal replica DeLorean. Go online and search Build a DeLorean to order the first 2 issues for just $2.99. Packed with incredible detail, this awesome model is yours to collect and build. Featuring working headlamps, brake lights that light up when you hit the brake pedal, illuminated time panels already preset to November 5th, 1955. The iconic gull-wing doors with working safety lights. And there's the flux capacitor, replicant engine, glowing dash, and of course the illuminated coils. And the great thing is, this 52-centimeter long die-cast model is so easy to build. No plutonium required. And you can put down that glue, because where we're going, we don't need glue. Each perfectly crafted piece simply clicks or screws together. Just follow the easy-to-use instructions.